Chosen one. Before this message began, something already shifted. You didn't notice it with your eyes, you felt it with your spirit. A sudden pause, a strange alertness, like the room went quiet for half a second. That was not random. That was the moment your name crossed a boundary. Not social, not human, not earthly, a boundary of decision. Chosen one, hear this clearly. There are days when heaven observes. There are days when heaven waits. And there are rare days when heaven speaks your name and answers immediately. Today was one of those days. You are not doing anything dramatic. You are not praying loudly. You are not asking for attention. You were simply being faithful in a season that felt unrewarded. And that is exactly what caused your name to be read. Chosen one, many people speak, very few endure. Many demand signs, very few remain steady without them. That is why this response was not triggered by noise. It was triggered by consistency. Something you did recently, small, private, almost forgettable, created a reaction you couldn't see. You chose restraint when you could have reacted. You chose integrity when cutting corners was easier. You chose silence when defending yourself felt justified. That decision echoed, and it reached a place you've never been able to reach on your own. Listen carefully now. When your name was read, it wasn't to judge you. It wasn't to test you again. It was to approve movement. Not all movement is loud. Not all blessings arrive with celebration. Some begin as alignment. That's why you may feel slightly unsettled right now. Not anxious, not afraid, just aware. That awareness is important because what is coming next will require discernment, not speed. There will be invitations that look right but are not. There will be voices that sound familiar but are misaligned. There will be opportunities that arrive early to distract you. Chosen one, this is where many miss it. They assume response means rush. It does not. Response means readiness. That is why I am speaking now, before the change is obvious, before others notice, before the door fully opens, so you do not misstep at the exact moment timing matters most. Stay grounded, stay observant, stay humble, and most importantly, stay present. The next part will explain what kind of door has opened, why it appeared without warning, and how to recognize the correct step when it appears. Do not guess, do not assume, do not follow pressure. Wait for clarity. When you are ready, type next and part 2 will be revealed. My child, now you need to understand what kind of door opened, because not every open door is meant to be walked through immediately. Some doors open so you can see what was hidden. Some open so pressure can be released. And some open to test whether you've learned patience or you still confuse urgency with fear. The door that opened for you was not forced. It unlocked itself. That matters, because forced doors demand effort. Unlocked doors demand wisdom. This is why things around you may start to feel slightly out of rhythm. People acting different. Delays where you expected speed. Speed where you expected delay. Chosen one, this is recalibration. When heaven responds, it does not rush you forward. It rearranges everything so you don't have to run. Right now, paths are being quietly adjusted so you don't collide with what you've outgrown. And yes, there are things you've outgrown. You just didn't realize it yet. Some relationships are expiring, not because they are bad, but because they cannot follow you into the next assignment. Some habits are losing satisfaction because they cannot sustain you at the next level. Some dreams are fading because they were placeholders, not destinations. This is not loss, this is sorting. Chosen one, Your silence in recent weeks was not emptiness, it was preparation. You were being trained to listen without panic, to wait without bitterness, to trust without evidence. Very few people can do that. That is why when your name was read, there was no debate. There was confirmation. Now hear this carefully. What is coming will not arrive as a dramatic moment. It will arrive as a sequence. A conversation that feels casual but isn't. A thought that repeats gently instead of loudly. A decision that feels calm, not exciting. Excitement is not the signal. Peace is. The door that opened leads to expansion, but only if you step through without dragging old fear behind you. If you carry fear, you will rush. If you rush, you will misinterpret timing. If you misinterpret timing, you will blame yourself for what was never meant to hurt you. So pause. This is not delay. This is positioning. Chosen one, there will be a moment soon where you are tempted to explain yourself unnecessarily. Do not. There will be a moment where you want reassurance from people instead of trusting the alignment. Do not. And there will be a moment where you feel like nothing is happening, right before something irreversible does. That moment is critical. That is where most turn back. Do not. You are not being tested again. You already passed. Now you are being trusted. The next part will reveal what confirmation looks like, how to recognize the sign without overthinking it, and why the response you received cannot be taken away even if you doubt it. When you are ready, type Part 3 and the message will continue. Stay still for a moment, not physically, but inwardly, because what you are about to step into requires awareness, not speed. You have been trained in the quiet. That is why chaos no longer pulls you. That is why noise no longer excites you. That is why you can sense when something is off, even when it looks perfect on the surface. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is discernment, and you earned it. There were seasons where you felt delayed, but in truth, you were being refined. I was teaching you how to move without needing permission, how to decide without consensus, how to trust me even when results were not visible. That training is now active. Soon, you will be presented with two paths. Both will look good. Both will seem possible. Both will appear safe. One will flatter your ego. The other will stretch your faith. Choose the one that brings peace, not applause. Peace is the signal. If something pressures you to rush, it is not from me. If something demands explanation, it is not aligned. If something pulls you back into proving your worth, it is expired. You are no longer in survival mode. Do not make survival decisions. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where restraint will protect you more than effort ever did. Say less. Watch more. Respond slower. Move deliberately. This is how you keep what is about to arrive. And yes, you will feel moments of disbelief. You will think, why now? Why me? Why after all this time? The answer is simple. Because now you will not misuse it. You will not idolize it. You will not lose yourself in it. You will steward it. That is why your name was read aloud. That is why the response came. That is why the door opened without warning. Not everyone gets this moment twice. Do not announce it early. Do not seek approval. Do not return to what drained you just to feel familiar. Stand where you are. Breathe. Trust the stillness. The movement has already begun. When you are ready, continue to the final part. This is where alignment becomes action. You have felt it already. The subtle shift in how you think. The calm in places that once panicked. The clarity that no longer needs reassurance. That is not coincidence. That is confirmation. What is coming next will not arrive loudly. It will arrive correctly. You will not chase it. You will recognize it. And when it appears, you will feel a quiet knowing in your chest. Not excitement, not fear, knowing. This is why you were taught patience. This is why access was limited. This is why some people faded without explanation. They were not removed to punish you. They were removed to protect the timing. Because this season requires focus, and focus cannot survive constant noise. Chosen one, you are no longer waiting for a breakthrough. You are preparing to carry one. That means boundaries will matter more than ambition. Rest will matter more than proving. Obedience will matter more than understanding. You will be tempted to revisit old versions of yourself, to explain, to justify, to re-enter spaces that already rejected you. Do not. You do not return to places you have outgrown spiritually. Let absence speak. Let results answer. Let silence do the work. The reason your name was read aloud was not to impress others. It was to authorize you. Authorization changes everything. You will notice doors opening without introductions, help arriving without requests, respect offered without demand. This is not favor you borrowed. This is favor you earned through endurance. But hear this carefully. What you are stepping into will multiply based on how you steward it. Gratitude will keep it flowing. Humility will keep it safe. Discipline will keep it growing. If you stay aligned, this season will not be short-lived. It will become foundational. Not a moment, a chapter. You will look back one day and realize this was the turning point. Not because everything changed instantly, but because you did. Stand steady. Walk wisely. Speak intentionally. You have already been approved. Now move as someone who knows it. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of the walk.